everyone, and welcome.
Sorry. Beep came up the stairs and it caught on my mic.
Welcome to the next arc of the Eclipse Cathedral.
Krakow.
This one is called Eclipse Cathedral Crossroads. Now, would my players like to introduce themselves and their characters, just so we can all get an idea of who's all here?
It's me, AudioVizual. I almost wasn't first. Because I heard Soto in the other room as I was trying to burn my fingers off. Being like, they're starting without you. And I'm trying desperately to not burn my fingers on this ceramic bowl, but that's fine as I race up the stairs. I'm playing Vexis Enteur, who's in a bit of a state of undress if we're going from the point I assume we're going from. That's fine. He just doesn't have his cravat and his lab coat. His black lab coat of science.
He's just wearing his sweater vest. How scandalous.
Goodness.
How fucking scandalous.
That's not proper lab safety.
Nope.
Alright, next.
Oh, is that me?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oops. All right. Okay, great start.
We've thrown it off because we're in a different order.
Hello. I am Cryptid, and I am playing Lincoln C. Rulean, who is currently just sitting in the library doing some light research, or trying to. He's not very good at it.
Whoa. It is I, Altaria, and I'm playing Xalbaer. I don't know what he's doing. He's probably chilling. I don't remember. We talked about this. I've had a week.
Yeah, Xalbaer's having a nap in the corner.
That's what it was. Yep.
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 Are you done?
Yeah, I think so, unless I forgot something.
Okay, Bluejay, I'm playing Dexion. There's now like 3 times the chance that I fuck up someone's name. He cried really hard. It wasn't on recording, it was somewhere else. Was taking a nap on the couch.
I love the vaguity of somewhere else.
Oh, I'm going to give at least a summary of it. So, last time we saw our party, a whole bunch of people had left the cathedral, and everyone was settling into their various things to generally take a break. Nobody but, I suppose, anybody who was paying attention to the group that left knows that Lincoln didn't leave.
Oh no.
Instead, Lincoln's been in the library researching, in the new library, in the mysterious room in the Eclipse Cathedral. In that meantime, Laura is sound asleep in the same room that Xalbaer is taking a nap in the corner. And Dexion and Vexis had a very needed but very intense talk. Of which Dexion, at a certain point, reached a point where he became a puddle and needed a break. So Vexis left the lab. And there were a couple of things you wanted to do here, but I am going to note that upon thinking about the library, you probably thought first of the Timeless Hollow Library, which is 2 hours away. Or is it 2 hours to walk? I don't even remember.
I thought
Anyway,
you said it was 1 hour.
Damn.
You know what? It's
Or
an
maybe
hour.
1.5 hours.
Yes, 1.5 hours to get to Timeless Hollow. But you do remember that when you had gotten the people who had quote unquote invaded the Eclipse Cathedral to
Quote
help
unquote, they absolutely did.
We did. Yeah.
when they helped the hare, after the hare had returned to his true form, the room that you guys had been sitting in became a library.
Yes.
So you have choices.
Fuck yeah.
Oh god, I have to make choices, huh?
Yes.
You're gonna make
You
me
have
make
to
First choice.
You have to make choices. What do you want to do first?
I mean, the first thing my man is gonna do is go to the kitchen and get a stressed ice cream.
Hmm.
Uh,
So you can easily
Yeah.
make your way to the kitchen. Sitting at the table is Valence. Although he doesn't seem to notice you enter at all.
that's fine. Listen, my man just came from a conversation with a capital C. He's getting his ice cream and he's going. He's not here to chat, really.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah. As you pass by Valence, you can hear him mumbling under his breath, or non-existent breath. So we need more proteins and vegetables and pretty much everything except for ice cream. That's what you
Amazing.
hear. He's making
Amazing.
lists.
Also, internal Vexis is we always need more ice cream. That's one of the staples of the household is always ice cream. You know what? He's gonna head to the library. He'll chew on the bit you're giving him. He'll take the carrot.
So you easily grab a stick of ice cream. There is, admittedly, there are 2 boxes of ice cream in there.
Unlimited ice cream, baby.
And as you go to the new library in the Eclipse Cathedral, you open the door and Lincoln. So you're in the middle of struggling to read these books. So from what you can gather so far, is that these books are journals of the previous caretakers of the Eclipse Cathedral, the people like Naomi.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, when Vexis interrupts you, you've just gotten to the middle of the stack, and it's just about getting interesting because the one you just picked up appears to be the first time out of all the ones you've been reading, because you've been reading from present day to backwards. It's the first time you've read the caretaker trying to leave and failing to.
Oh no.
Yikes.
Oh man. Didn't know it was coming, but still. Ouch. Okay, so does it say the name of the one that tried to leave?
Thing is, the name is very is written in an easy to read script at the front on the front page. And this caretaker's name was Natasha.
So that was the first time it was recorded that one tried to leave.
Yes, although you've been admittedly reading from present day to backwards. So this
Oh,
is probably the last time that the
someone
caretaker
tried.
had tried.
Guessing that caretakers learned from that. So he didn't read any other caretakers trying to leave afterwards.
No. In fact, it had gotten harder and harder to at least understand, and the very first book you picked up is drawings.
Oh,
As if the ability to read and write had degraded.
this is. Oh, I am unwell. I'm unwell about the caretakers right now. Okay.
So anyways, Vexis, you walk in.
He has ice cream in one hand / mouth, and can I roll investigation?
Yes, for what? What are you looking for?
He's looking for parenting books.
Oh.
Unfortunately, as you're looking through the shelves, you're not finding any parenting books here. Although it's a large library and you happen to, in your search, walk past Lincoln, who is in the middle of a very large pile of books.
Just Vexis very quietly to himself. It's a shit library.
Do I hear that?
I mean, he's
Roll.
not being very quiet.
I think Lincoln kind of like jumps a little bit because he was very absorbed in reading, and he just kind of like looks up. What? Hmm?
Vexis looking at Lincoln.
I think he's not saying anything. He's just looking straight at Vexis, and he's just like holding the journal in his hand. And he's just like, "Oh, nice night."
I do believe it's something close to morning.
Is it
Roll me
really?
a survival check. To tell what time of day it is.
It's time.
So, Vexis, it's almost noon.
He just looks
Oh.
at imaginary watch. I do believe it's almost lunch. Have you been here?
Uh, mm, yes, yes. I have been here, and he's kind of like looking around for any kind of way for him to tell time. Does not own a watch. He's like, a while, a while.
Vexis nods. Understandable. Have a nice.
Have a nice noon, apparently.
Have a nice noon, apparently.
Can I roll an insight check on Vexus?
Yeah, go for it.
Yep, you certainly can.
Well,
So, what is the basic surface of how Vexis is feeling right now?
Little surprised to find that Lincoln's here doing Lincoln things, presumably something. He's gotten ice cream, which doesn't seem like a normal Vexus habit, and he's also underdressed. His normal black lab coat is missing, so it's clear something has perhaps gone awry, or is from the norm. Considering this is the first time Lincoln has ever seen Vexus without his black lab coat.
immediate concern. Real quick, everything all right?
Vexus contemplating. He kind of gives Lincoln a once over and is just like, well, I don't suppose you've ever been a parent before.
I have not had the chance, but have taken care of them. Why do you ask?
Well, I perhaps taking great faith in your ability to imagine.
Mhm.
Sure, you can imagine, perhaps even a bit, a fragment of what it is like to attempt to raise several youths with varying degrees of soullessness, while you yourself have altered emotional states due to said lack of soul.
Now, I gotta admit, that's gonna take a lot of imagination, but definitely not the easiest of situations. Which I don't think you need me telling you that.
Yeah, Vexus just grim nod and takes like a bite of his ice cream.
Now, from what I've seen, well, not the ideal situation. You seem to be doing very well, regardless, considering the quote unquote altered emotional state from lack of soul. He looks very like looks confused.
Amazing.
He's just new territory.
Vexus definitely makes a face. And like
Yeah.
doesn't
Yeah.
answer that.
Now, I guess the question I have right now is, what is it that you need?
That is a loaded question. Perhaps saved for another time. May I inquire what exactly you are doing?
He looks down at the book in his hand and looks back up, reading.
You get like the most like no shit Sherlock kind of face Vexus can give.
Lincoln gives just a smug look back.
Does Vexus want to make me a perception check to see if Vexus can look at the page that Lincoln is reading?
Sure, Vexus will take a gander. He'll take a gander.
So
Do
you
it.
look down, and what you see on the page is a very simply written but still understandable page of a journal, which says day 355. I tried leaving the cathedral today. As soon as I took a single step outside, I was back at the top of the cathedral again. Like I hadn't ever left. This is the 40th time I have tried, and it's still not working.
If a cat could raise its eyebrows, Vexis is raising his eyebrows. And he kind of looks between the journal and Lincoln.
Lincoln looks. It's kind of easy to see. Looks a little unsettled.
Vexis will sort of take a seat by Lincoln, whether it be on the table or in a chair. Man just perch. And kind of looks over the big stack of journals by Lincoln again. And appraises both of them, like both Lincoln and the stack, and is like, so are these the journals of the caretakers, I presume?
You would be correct. I haven't been making much progress, but they can't leave.
Well, I suppose it would do no good if what was intended to caretake, left.
What if they change their mind? They're just stuck here? They don't got a choice?
I've spoken with Naomi on the topic, and well, Naomi believes to have simply been created by the cathedral. Now, whether or not that is actually true, I am unsure of, but I do believe after a certain point, they simply didn't know if there was anywhere else to go, perhaps. If you have no connections outside of the cathedral, why leave?
To make those connections?
Vexis has a dubious look. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You're good. It's just. Look, of course, like if they've lived their entire life in here, they're not going to have any connections outside, but that doesn't mean that they shouldn't be allowed to try. I mean, what if they want to? What if they develop, I don't know, an idea to see the world, experience it for themselves?
You are making assumptions, not necessarily terribly poorly thought out assumptions, but perhaps you are looking at it from the emotional point of view of an outsider. You must look at it something closer to, why would the cathedral allow that? Why does the cathedral care about such a thing? I don't believe the cathedral cares at all about such things.
Linga's just like clutching the book.
Vexis will, sort of like He'll take another bite of his ice cream, and I'm guessing Lincoln has like sorted out the ones he's already like read.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he has a oh, sorry, go ahead, Hart.
So there are two stacks. One is clearly to Lincoln's left, and the other is clearly to Lincoln's right.
Hmm.
The ones on the right look older than the book he's holding.
Mm-hmm. Now, I've made a deal with the cathedral. It is single-minded in its purpose. We don't know what exactly set forth the standards of operation, but it is not like us, Lincoln. It does not think like you do with compassion or empathy. Perhaps there is some, definitely, left behind, perhaps by these previous caretakers you are reading of. But it is not necessarily a kind entity.
Got it. I guess I apologize for the assumption. As you can tell, and he's going to kind of like gesture to the books. I'm kind of out of my depth here.
Aren't we all? I certainly cannot fault you for compassion and empathy. They are hallmarks of what birthed us and such, and you seem to be someone who is very kind and empathetic. Tell me, have you looked at any of the eldest books?
I've been kind of working my way backwards, so I have not reached the older ones yet.
Well, why don't I help you look then, and we'll see if we can't get to the bottom of some of this, perhaps.
If you're feeling up to it, I don't see why not.
Certainly preferable than some of the alternatives.
And I will not be asking about those. As you said, leave for a later date. I can't speak. Oh my gosh.
Good, you're good.
Oh, the entire sentence. Okay. As you said, leave for a later date.
Vexis will pick up the one, like the top book on the right, like the next book previous of the one Lincoln has.
As you open it to the first page, the writing seems a little more elegant. This one apparently belongs to someone named Nathaniel.
Hart having to come up with names off the top of his head.
Look, I have a certain aesthetic I want to go for, and it's got to be name that starts with N.
You should have pulled up like a name site and
I
had
really
them.
should have, but
It's working perfect.
But yeah, Vexis will skim through Nathaniel's book.
So, the contents basically, Nathaniel tries to leave the cathedral about 50 times. there are entries where people have come to the cathedral and Nathaniel has actually spoken with them. It seems that at this point in the cathedral's quote-unquote lifespan, it's about a little more than 250 years ago, there was a kingdom called Xalbaer, and people would come from Xalbaer and enter the cathedral and make it to the top. Some of them with even most of their memories intact.
Man.
And they seem to be looking for someone named Neilf. Hold
How
on.
is that spelled?
Hold on.
You fool, I'm making notes.
Takers, let's go.
Neilf.
I feel like the second Vexis sees that, he's gonna leave the book open on the table where he saw that name, and he's gonna go to the next journal of the previous person.
So this next journal is Neilf. Belonging to Neilf.
Uh-huh. 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 Vexis is gonna point that out to Lincoln for surezies.
Wait. So if they came looking for Neil, he was the previous caretaker.
Mm-hmm. And this journal is dated, pre-erasure.
Can I look at the journal too? What the heck? This is insane.
So the one that belongs to Nathaniel was the first entries dated about 260 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And Neil's first entry is, let's see, about 310 years ago. Roundabouts. The notation doesn't seem to actually be, doesn't seem to be anything you really recognize, Lincoln.
The notation of the date?
Yeah, the notation of the date is not an Einquell way of notating the date.
I don't recognize this notation. What is it?
Well, if it comes before the erasure, presumably this is how they would mark the dates in the past.
Vexis, roll me a history check.
Oh, yay. What's your history? +7. You're smart. 12!
No.
So, the notation seems kind of familiar, but ancient. Old. And you're thinking about that, and how the fact that you come from Exandria and if you flip to one of the pages, it mentions the Winter Crest Festival.
Okay. And I know what this is.
The Winter Crest Festival is the winter festival. So our world equivalent would be Christmas. But
Yeah.
in Exandria, it's the midwinter festival.
So it's Exandrian is what I need to know.
Yes.
Oh, well that is interesting.
What is?
Well, this journal, and he holds up Niels, mentions the Winter Crest Festival, and that is Exandrian. That is not Einquillian. That is not of this world at all. It's of the world I am from.
So this caretaker, this Neil, is from Exandria?
Perhaps. That is certainly a workable theory. We do know, well, I know, you have vague aspirations of, the individual is able to go to different realms, different places. So it may not necessarily be that the person is from Exandria, but perhaps at some point the cathedral was in Exandria.
What do the previous journals say? Well, I know we haven't checked them, but was it just a
Well,
brief stint with this Neil?
I'm unsure. Would like, you can skip through and read Niels, and I'll check the next one.
I would like to do that.
Okay. So, see, Nathaniel left 50 times. It seems that Neil had tried to leave at least 100 times, but they lost count. They had been attempting to use the lab that was something they found on the 13th floor to try to ascertain what was wrong with the dragon. The caretaker before that, this one appears to be belonging to a caretaker named Naftali.
And how is that spelled?
Yeah, I was
Let
gonna
me
say, if you're
copy and
gonna make
paste
up
it.
bullshit fantasy names.
Hey, I didn't make that one up. That was from the generator.
Jesus
Dang it.
Christ. Okay, so Naftali.
hmm And this one's dated about 400-ish years ago. Still using Exandria's dating notation.
Okay. So noticing that, he'll set that one aside to come back to, and he'll go to the next previous one. He wants to see how many continue to use Exandrian.
So the next previous one belongs to... Hold on, loading. A caretaker named Nesa. And on the first page, the notation's different. It's... It's actually pretty different from anything because it just notates the positioning of the sun, almost like a someone from the Feywild might.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why you know this is because of Xalbaer.
No, that's just cat logic, baby. What time is it? Oh, the sun's over there. It's time to nap over there in the sun. Okay. So, okay. Okay. So, I'm gonna ask you a question. Can Vexis roll to see if, he has any knowledge of Squire from Exandria?
Yep. Roll me a history check.
Okie dokie.
Whew, 25. So,
Um,
well, I'm gonna give you first the first crumbs you ever heard in your life about Squire, and it was a throwaway comment from that half orc who captured Zaya's attention so completely. And interested, you had gone to, well, the Grand Library of Nicodronus to see if you can find anything about some sort of place called Squire, because that name is kind of weird. It's definitely
Mm-hmm.
not anything you've ever heard.
Mm-hmm.
And, well, you found one book, and it detailed a, and it was only because Nilrim allowed you to at least hold it for a few minutes of time.
Mm-hmm.
It detailed the destruction of Squire.
Uh-huh.
And how the person writing this book escaped.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Awesome. Vexis is gonna turn around to Lincoln, who was looking at
he was still
uh
looking at Neil's book, I believe.
yeah.
Mhm. So Neil seemed to have a whole bunch of friends in Squire, is what you're reading, Lincoln. Like, people would come from Squire and they'd make it up, and they made friendships with Neilf and were trying to help them. And these friends were elves.
See where the story's going. Oh no.
Hmm.
So kind of detailing the relationships that they had in Squire.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Uh so Vexis is gonna look over at Lincoln, who's presumably processing this, and
Oh yes.
sort of just like jab at the book he's holding, like pages open and everything. And he's just like, so at some point, one can presume that either via the cathedral or some other magic bullshittery, the caretaker had access to Square and they were in Exandrian time. But all Alexandria seems to know of Square is that it was destroyed.
Does it say when?
Does it say when?
So, you'll know that by Exandrian time. Hold on, buffering.
Buffering.
Pulling up my notes.
A D8 can be used to roll for damage. There are approximately 7 dice in a dice set. In a pinch, D8s can be used as improvised caltrops.
My gosh.
Don't you mean D4?
Oh yeah. I mean, honestly, all dice make great improvised caltrops. Stepping on any of them would hurt.
Mm. I can say from experience. Yes.
Buffering.
Problem is I don't remember where I put this particular piece of information.
You could control F.
Or we can put like a line and we can fill it in later.
Yeah. You keep looking, we'll keep talking.
Mm-hmm.
I can see exactly where this line of thought is going with Lincoln, where it's like Vexis is gonna answer if he knows or not, the date, and then Lincoln's gonna start looking through the journals, isn't he? Yeah. So Vexis says, insert date, Lincoln. I'm going to Lincoln, line.
Back to the journals we go. That's not the line. That's not the line. Don't. But wait, so people came from Xalbaer during Nathaniel's time, right? We read that, right? Because they were searching for Niels. They were searching for them.
They were. But now there was someone who I've encountered before who did mention Xalbaer. It was a half-orc by the name of Silex. Zaya was absolutely besmotting the man, scientifically.
Oh.
Scientifically, of course. Would go on and on and on about how he's some sort of fairy tale something or other, and this and that, and I took it with a grain of salt, of course, because...
Truly. Mm-hmm.
So, Vexis, you would know that that book that you were allowed to hold and read through had been so 300 years ago was when it had been, or a little less than 300 years ago is when it had been taken into the Grand Library of Nicodranus's care.
Mm-hmm.
So, like 290 years ago, it was given to the Grand Library of Nicodranus to keep safe.
Well, Vexus would definitely tell Lincoln that it would have been during Nathaniel's time. So because Niels was like 310 years ago. So it's either during Nathaniel's time or during Niels. And one could probably assume potentially it was Niels' time. Or, you know, an intersection of time between Nathaniel and Niels.
Yeah. Was Silex the only escapee, or were there others from Xalbaer? Do we know?
Silex mentioned Square, but it really was just a mention. I happened to perchance in the library upon a book where the author wrote of escaping from the destruction of Square, but that was the only book that I found, and it was under strict protection by the librarian.
What do you mean strict protection?
Nilrim is just like that.
Gotcha.
So, perhaps the cathedral moved in part to do with the destruction of Square or something. Now, this most eldest book I found does not use Exandrian time. It's a Morphe sun positioning time.
There is one book left that is previous to the one you're talking about.
Previous to Nier, so. Alright, so we've got the Feywild, we've got Exandria, and then we've got Inkwell.
And Square.
And Xalbaer.
So presumably we have the place of origin, which we will have to check in the very first book, which is either the Feywilds or somewhere different entirely. The Feywilds, we have Exandria / Square, and then it ended up in Einquell. Interesting. Vexis will set Niessa's journal down and pick up the very first one, the bottom of the stack.
Loading. So this first book appears to belong to someone named Nicole. And as you open it up, the notation's different again. It's not Feywild. It has order to it, but the year and the how the month or what you presume to be the month isn't anything you've ever heard. And it starts out with, I woke up here and I can't remember anything else. Why am I here?
Oh boy.
Uh-oh. Oh my gosh.
Vexis is gonna, shove the book down in front of Lincoln, we're reading this together now.
We were going down this research rabbit hole. Oh my gosh.
So from what you can make out from the dating system and beyond the first, how did I get here? Nicole tried to leave the cathedral about 250 times. Nicole is the one who built the lab that's on the 13th floor. Nicole also appeared to, about a year or so into the book remembered how to cast spells and was basically, because Nicole found a grimoire that belonged to him. And was literally holding on to that grimoire for, like a drowning man holds on to the barest hope of rescue.
Hey, Heart. Hey,
Yeah.
Heart.
Yeah.
I'm unwell. How could you do this?
But the book mentions Squire. It mentions Nilrim Ambrose as someone who as a young man who came into the cathedral because, well, this is a strange place. Why is it here?
Oh man. Oh boy, oh man. Oh boy, oh man.
And Nilrim was one of the people to help Nicole build the lab and get any form of, materials that he needed. And from basically that, it sounds like that the very first entry was probably about 500 years ago.
I don't know about you, Lincoln, but Vexis is like contemplative and a little he's honestly wondering if the cathedral straight up abducts people and gives them amnesia.
Lincoln's definitely processing. Oh my, what if it does? Wait, is there any grimoire? Is Nicole's grimoire still in here?
So do you want to roll me an investigation check, and we'll go to... Because I'm pretty sure this has taken up as long as an hour.
Sorry.
No. I'm just saying we gotta... Unfortunately, Dexion, unless Dexion's going to have a long rest, it's been short rest time, and it's time for Xalbaer and Dexion to have some time in the limelight.
Yes.
He's not waking up unless someone bothers him.
Which means we're going to Xalbaer, because Xalbaer was just taking a nap. And Laura's loud.
Snoring.
Xalbaer is definitely snoring. Some of it is like it started as like a comical thing, and then it's like once he actually fell asleep, it's just like very low, like rumbles, and then it's like, oh, they were. They're trying to out snore each other before, and then Xalbaer fell asleep.
Yeah, but Xalbaer, you're awakening from roll me a charisma check.
Oh God, a charisma check.
Yeah.
I have no idea where my dice are. Hang on. I'm not using dice, is what I'm getting at. Charisma. Yeah.
All right. So you fell asleep, and as you were dreaming, there was this dark, dark, dark place. So dark that there was absolutely no light, and you wake up. And Laura's snores are louder than ever.
Xalbaer just has a moment and is like, well, that's not what space looks like. We're gonna keep going. Can he tell about how long he's been asleep?
Roll me a survival check.
Yep. Survival. 2. Yeah.
Yeah, you know it's it's nearing 1 o'clock, so it's past noon, and you bet that anyone else in the cathedral besides Laura, which, considering she's both attuned and asleep, probably just shouldn't disturb her. They probably would be getting hungry about now.
He is going to get up then from his space in the corner and wander off to go figure out where the scientists and everyone has gone.
Okay. Where do you check first?
Knowing how these people operate, he would probably head towards the lab first.
Okay, do you go through the kitchen or through the control room?
Probably control room.
Okay. So you walk into the control room. There's no one here. There are a bunch of buttons and levers, which you are at least measurably certain of what each one does, because you've watched both Dexion and Vexis use them, and use them yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Are you
Is there any...
Go ahead.
I was going to say, is there anything up on the screen currently?
Currently, it seems to be looking out at Einquell. And as you watch, a bird flies by at a natural pace.
Okay. So, okay. Is the speed dial reflect that?
Yep, the speed dial is currently set to sync. And you do remember that Axiom was, goading Vexis to change it to that at some point.
Okay. So it did get done. Axiom's probably scampered off. Okay. In that case, that's one person he doesn't have to track down to make sure they fed themselves. He's gonna nod and keep on towards the lab.
Okay. So you move into the lab. What you notice in there is there's no one in here. Although it does seem like the bunch of coffee cups that you had used to make so much coffee that went completely stale have been cleaned up.
Wow, somebody else cleaned up my mess. Fantastic. Hopefully that means they didn't drink it all and go into a caffeine-induced craze of science. He will
Oh
put
yes,
on...
there are some on the floor filled with water. That is true.
He will wander around them. He's not going to pick them up. He's just going to leave them and go start a fresh pot of coffee and then wander towards the kitchen.
Unfortunately, as you open the cabinet to get the coffee, You notice that you're out. There's no more coffee to be made.
Alright, where's my list? Hang on. Where's my list? Coffee in all caps. Coffee. I have a paper. I threw my pencil. I have a paper list in front of me that I'm keeping track of some of these things. Mistakes were made. He is going to contemplate life choices, and then he'll go to the kitchen.
Okay. As you enter the kitchen, sitting there is Valence. And he
Yeah.
starts a little and looks over at you. Oh, hi?
Afternoon, and Xalbaer will wander over and like pat Valence on the top of the head and go investigate the cabinets for
Yeah,
coffee.
we need a lot of stuff. He says as he watches you open empty cabinets.
Xalbaer is gonna leave them open too,
Mhm.
and try and find anything.
So you do find something, but it's a single packet of instant noodles.
Okay, but is it beef, shrimp, or chicken?
It's beef.
Yeah, okay. Xalbaer will open it and start crunching on the noodles.
Amazing.
Have you eaten?
Valence blinks. I don't need to eat.
Xalbaer's gonna kind of squint, and in the I can't think of the word, but like someone that is like Liam, a teenager who has just woken up, going to slowly turn and squint at Valence. Like, did I know this? How do you sustain yourself then?
I don't know. I think that would probably be a question for Dexion or Vexis.
Fair enough. Xalbaer's going to fish the seasoning packet out of the noodles, open it, and sprinkle it on top of the dry noodles, and continue eating it.
Congratulations, you have curbed your own hunger.
Yay! Dry noodles with dry seasoning on top. It's perfect.
Yeah, Valence just kind of watches you for a moment and then glances at the freezer. There's still a lot of ice cream in there.
I'm lactose intolerant, but thank you.
I No, that's all we have in the fridge.
Where did. You know what? I don't want to know why there's only ice cream left. Alright. Guess it's time for a shopping trip.
Valence
Do you,
just nods.
do you know where everybody went?
I'm going to roll a history for Valence to see if he does. Let's see. Valence, my boy, what's your history? That's a +2. 6.
Amazing.
So he tilts his head and you hear a as he seems to be thinking, and then he slowly shakes his head like he does not know.
Alright. Well, I suppose we better find them and figure out who wants to go to Yeast.
Slowly nods. And then he Hold on. And then he tilts his head to the side in like a thinking sort of motion. I think Sirius is up here somewhere. I can stay here.
Do you want to stay here, or are you just offering?
I do want to stay here.
Alright. You don't have to go. Last time I went to Yeast, I brought back another person, so who knows what'll happen this time with more people.
Valence nods and just kind of rubs the back of his neck.
Do you have any... And Xalbaer will look for the list as he says this. Do you have any requests for the list? Any items or anything?
Valence, you hear the sound again as he's thinking. Maybe some oil for joints.
Ah.
And as he's like moving his shoulder, you hear a slight clicking noise.
You know what? Yep, we will make sure to get some of that.
He nods and says, "Thank you."
Mm-hmm. And Xalbaer will wander off to find everybody.
Okay. So you've checked the lab, you've checked the control room, you've checked the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
There are a number of other places on the 13th floor you could check.
Let's go see if anybody... Wait, hang on. I'm trying to remember. It's been a minute. I'm trying to remember, like, the floor plan. Would it be more out of the way to go see the Gust, or...
No, since you're in the kitchen, you can easily walk out one door and turn right and go see the Gust.
Okay. He would go see if there's anybody in with Gust, and then wander back through the more likely places.
Okay. So as you walk through the light wall, it's surprisingly quiet. And up, sitting on the dais is Naomi. And beside Naomi is both a person with green hair and Rod, otherwise known as Sterling. And
Mm-hmm.
both the person with green hair and Rod are fast asleep, and Naomi is watching over them.
Do you need anything from the store?
Naomi starts a little bit and looks over at you. Store?
Yeah, we gotta make a trip to Yeast for groceries and stuff.
I like... They're small and red, and they taste sweet.
Like hard candies?
What's hard candies?
So, hard candies are like... Well, it can come in different shapes, but like, normally they're orbs of sugar in different flavors. There's...
Orbs of sugar.
Yeah.
She looks kind of puzzled, and they
There's...
glance back towards the Gust and Sterling before looking back at you.
How big is what you're talking about?
You can hold multiple in your hands and they're soft.
Okay, so not hard candy. Cherries, apples, not apples. Raspberries?
She just kind of tilts her head to the side. She doesn't know what you're talking about.
You know, fair enough. I don't know what I'm talking about either.
She gave you a very, very poor description.
You know what? If nothing else, we can get a variety for you. They're red and sweet and small, yeah?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
You have to wash them.
Oh.
Oh no. I was like, how else can I get more information on that?
She's like, you... And she's just like, really? You have to wash them?
Yeah. You know what? Fair enough. Look, that can fit anything from a freaking grape tomato to a marble. Don't eat marbles, kids. Is there a pit or a seed, perhaps?
Not
In
the
the
last time I had them.
have
It's-
they had them
you're-
in the past?
Talking about the hard thing in the middle, right?
Yes.
Not the last time I had them.
So probably not cherries. Y- Mm. Well. Did you just eat them, or did you eat something with them?
Um, I'm going to roll history.
I'm trying desperately to figure out ways to.
It's okay, Naomi's not making it easy on you because Naomi's intelligence is 7.
I know. I'm trying to make it easy on both of them, and it's like there's a lot of.
That was a 2.
Oh no. Guys, stop saying draw them. It's red and round. That's not. We have crayons and paper. We're not gonna get a lot of detail out of this. We could try.
She just looks at you like you've grown a separate head and started talking gibberish out of it.
Yeah, and to be fair, I've come to the realization that the size of his hands are probably not the size of her hands. So apples could fit several in his hands, but not in Naomi's hands. So now he's having an even bigger debate of like.
So, looking at Naomi's hands, they are not big enough to hold more than one apple.
So probably not apples. Okay. These are things we have to consider. Were any of them tart? Or were they all the same amount of sweet?
I think what's tart?
Tart is when you. It's a taste, and it can be. Some people think it's more unpleasant, but it. I don't like. So this is Altaria here. I don't like tart things so much. I have a big sweet tooth, so I'm trying desperately to figure out how to describe it. It you eat it, and it can sure. It may cause. Do you know what a lemon is?
Lemon. I'm gonna roll history.
I was like, I was like, you put it in your mouth and it makes you screw your face up, but I don't know that that's gonna ring well.
So, you mean that yellow fruit that... And she just kind of makes this kind of face?
Yes, that's a lemon. That's what tart is. Lemons are tart.
Oh, some of them were a little bit.
Okay.
You also get the vague feeling that Naomi may have tried to eat the lemon without peeling it.
Oh my god.
Considering how well this conversation has gone.
Yeah. How about this? We will get you a variety of things so that you can try and have some new experiences and see if we can't get the exact one that you're thinking of.
They smile and go, okay, I have to stay here and make sure that they're okay. She says as she looks back at Sterling.
It's a noble job, and as someone that is regularly in charge of making sure people don't die, it is a hard one, and I appreciate you.
She looks back at you and just blinks. Uh, okay.
So Bear's gonna nod and like either wander over or lean over and pat the top of Naomi's head and then just go on out like, yep, okay, we're good now.
Yeah, you're able to actually, like, get to the bottom of the stairs, but walking up it is not something you have the willpower to do at the moment, considering you just woke up and you have other things to do. So you're able to at least lean over and just pat Naomi's head, mostly because Naomi saw what you were trying to do and leaned forward.
Beautiful. He's not wanting to go up the stairs per se. Like, his goal is not to get up there. It's just like, pat, pat, pat. Okay, we out. So. So, he would probably, at this point, he remembers the books and the grimoire that he was supposed to do things with, and he's gonna wander that way next.
Okay. So, you enter the mysterious room, which is currently a library, to the sounds of Lincoln and Vexis searching through the books looking for something. They're like a row back, and you left the grimoire in the very first alcove. It's still there.
He'll pick it up and just kind of wander over and watch the chaos for a minute.
Now, I don't know about Vexis, but I know Lincoln at least looks a little unhinged looking for this.
Abso-fucking-lutely. He's like rolled his sleeves up and there's like, I have to decide. You know what? He's got his sleeves rolled up. And he's like going through books, like skimming them and like haphazardly not sorting them back, but clearly sorting them into his own sort of like pattern.
find another journal by a Master Kalon, or rather Kalon, a medical textbook on tunes, a few books about dragons. Some are from Zatori. Some are, you suppose might be from Squire. And you find a book called Study of the Uncanny, Eclipse Towns. This appears to be an unpublished version of the book. This is by Incognito.
Quietly sees another campaign.
All I hear is Soto downstairs going feral.
Do you want to look through this unpublished version?
Vexis doesn't care. He's probably grabbed the dragon books and like thrown them, like not thrown them, but like, you know, started a haphazard pile on the corner of the table the journals are on of like ones he actually cares about, and he's probably put that book back. He doesn't care.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Okay.
He might put it off to the side.
Okay. Among the so you've found a section of the library with every tale of dragons, apparently across the world of Zatori and Squire. And there also appears to be an old journal here.
Awesome. Vexis is pulling that one out and cracking that cold boy open.
This journal appears to belong to Nathaniel. And it has so it starts off with listing all of the books on the date that had been found, what tales might be fake, what tales might be real to look into, or at least send people to look into. Clearly, these are notes of trying to track down a certain dragon. Or tales about pieces of the gust.
Awesome. He's tossing that one at Lincoln for Lincoln to read.
Do I catch it?
Roll me a dex.
Oh my god.
I like to make things difficult. Why do I do this? Okay. And that. Okay.
Wrong command.
Oh. Sorry.
It's alright.
No. It's funny every time.
I think I do it literally every time.
Yeah, you, so you easily catch it. And Vexis, as you turn to throw it, you see Xalbaer just kind of watching you guys out of the corner of your eye.
Probably by this point, Xalbaer has opened the grimoire and, if possible, has flipped it upside down and has it open to a random page.
Fucker.
What languages do you know?
I believe we established that he doesn't know this one, but I will check for you.
Mm-hmm.
Common, Growlix, Leonin, and Sylvan.
Yeah, so you flip the page over and the words make more sense now. but you still can't read them. Like it's a recognizable language now that you flip the book over.
Wait, he was trying to read it upside down before?
Oh my gosh.
What?
Was he? Because he's purposely doing it upside down now.
Yes.
Of course.
If it's a recognizable language, does he know which one it is?
Would be celestial.
Cool.
Dang.
At least you've seen celestial texts before, and they match up.
Beautiful. Now that he has a chance of actually reading it, he's gonna flip it upside down again and act as though he's reading from it now that he's seen that Vexis has seen him. And in a documentary type voice, recite, and here we have in their natural habitat 2 of the species Nerdus scientists.
Can Vexis throw a book at Xalbaer?
Book do you grab?
Just the first one he can reach.
Okay, it's a heavy book on some place that apparently has an eternal storm, and you just chuck it at Xalbaer's head.
And
He is the
Xalbaer,
storm.
well, he'd probably just duck out of the way, sidestep it.
Yeah, make me a dex save with advantage because you're a barbarian and you see that coming a mile away.
Dex. I'll just do it twice. I can do numbers. Yeah.
Yeah, you ducked and the book sails over your head and collides with the back part of the bookshelf that you're standing next to.
Mm-hmm. It seems that the researchers have irritated the Nerdus scientist, who is in a scandalous state of undress. What shall they do next?
Vexis sputters like a fucking choking teapot and just stalks over to Xalbaer, just like half stomping.
Unfortunately, it seems that the Nerdus scientist has eaten hardly anything today, and therefore is cranky. This researcher fears for his life, and may soon face the wrath of... Hi, Vexis.
Just Vexis takes this like deep breath in and just like he's all puffed out. He looks very fluffy. And he just like Hello, Xalbaer.
Hello. Do you speak Celestial?
I speak approximately 5 languages, including Common, Growlix, Abyssal, Celestial, and Primordial.
Good. Have some homework, and he will pass the book to Vexis.
Amazing.
And at that, we need to take a little break because I realize it's been 1.5 hours and I need to use the restroom.
Yeah.
But I will say, at first glance, Vexis, this is a necromancer's grimoire.
Oh,
Oh my god. Beautiful. Alright.
Heart, this is
Yeah.
hilarious and amazing. I am taking notes too.
I'm so glad.
I need to. I don't always take notes, but I need to just fucking take notes.
Yeah.
I started this session, and honestly, it's so much fun. There's so much.
I'm so glad because I too am having so much fun. Oh, I should get some more soda. Just because I want soda. There's no other reason. So I did not remember that Vexis knows Celestial.
Rip to you.
No, but I'm very glad that Vexis knows Celestial. It's in Celestial because of the kind of person it belonged to.
Amazing. Yeah, he knows 5 languages. I'm not 100% sure it's correct that he should know 5 languages. But I don't know. That's how his sheet is. That's what I'm going with. You know, if nothing else, he would have learned Grolix, considering the fact he has a tune child and hung out with Zaya.
Yeah, Zaya. So all of his languages make sense that he has them because he's a well-learned wizard.
It's a McFucking nerd.
Yeah. And honestly, I bet having more than the usual standard amount comes from the background.
Mm-hmm. Because I know Tabaxi are weird because they don't have a language. So it's the whole, common and a language you decide with your DM is best. And then I think wizards get at least 2 languages, I believe. Or something. I don't know. Again, I don't know. That's just what's on his sheet. That's what I'm going with. I go, haha, I get to give Vexis fucking cool tattoos and scars.
I finger guns at you. He has at least one scar on the back of his paw.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's always fun deciding what should be in this library.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just full of stuff. No fucking parenting books off the top, though. That's a real bummer for Vexis.
No, you might want to check Timeless Hollow's library for that. Or maybe Yeese's.
Yeah. Considering the holes in Naomi's knowledge, Vexis is heavily like me knowing Vexis. Considering the Xalbaer conversation, Vexis is gonna
Remember
absolutely.
Remember when you were trying to explain time to Naomi?
Yeah.
Awful.
The day that Vexis gets a parenting book, he will be unstoppable.
Have to make sure it's a good parenting book, because there are terrible
True.
ones.
Get the ones with the good reviews. They're Yelp and Inkwell.
Yelp. God. Man.
Me dropping lore.
Yeah.
This is so much fun, honestly.
Yes.
Also, I love the fact earlier that Vexis asked Lincoln if he had like any experience in that, and Lincoln's just sitting here with like two essentially god kids, and he's like, kind of, yes,
Kind of.
not the way you're looking for, but yes, that's
You know what? Valid.
But yeah, now you know where Sterling's been.
ho 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 ho.
You don't know where Sirius is yet.
Listen, there's so many fucking people. He's probably hanging out with Olive. Who knows?
Crying in the bathroom. We will start up again once Altaria is back, 'cause it appears as if everyone else is returned.
Mm-hmm. I heard them talking to Toaster, so.
Mm.
I had to lure him upstairs with his treats, and then he insisted I feed them to him one at a time. But I'm back now.
Welcome back. Okay.
You know
So-
he's so spoiled because you absolutely did that.
I did. He gets 4 treats, and normally I give them to him one at a time, so he paces himself, but I put all 4 out, and he was like, no, what are you doing? Do it right.
God.
Hello.
Hello. So, Vexis, this is a necromancer's grimoire.
Hmm.
And as you're looking at the writing, it matches Nicole's writing.
Aha. Ho 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 ho. He's like turning to Lincoln, just like Xalbaer had it.
Xalbaer had
The
what?
entire time?
The entire time.
Lincoln
What
goes and like face palms against a bookshelf.
You're welcome.
Yes, quite. Thank you. This, and he sort of waggles. Yes. Thank you, Zaba. This, and he kind of waves it, is the necromantic grimoire of the first caretaker recorded to have been in the cathedral. Current working theory is the cathedral abducts people, gives them amnesia, and sticks them inside. And they can't leave.
Did you ask Naomi?
Well, it's going to be kind of hard to differentiate whether she was just popped into the cathedral just there or if she just got here with amnesia because she wouldn't really remember. I'm not really sure how we test that, but
Not to mention, if there was no one. I've talked somewhat with Naomi about it, and they have not exactly been the most informed on the subject, considering. One must assume that they arrived at a old enough age they could take care of themselves, but young enough that things such as reading and writing and such were not so much taught to them, considering, well, how behind Naomi is developmentally in those areas. Also, the books, the other journals talked about how they can't leave. So asking Naomi would presumably only confirm the same results.
now if we're going along with this theory, then the progression in the journals seem like the different caretakers, it was devolving for all of them. So does that mean that the cathedral and them younger?
Well, it does make sense if you think about it. Considering since it does not, any of them really so much talk about how old they were or what races they are, but considering the times explained in each book. It would make sense because the younger you get them, the longer they will live. If you have a limited pool to pull from.
What if there's overlap?
Well, I don't know. I don't. Cryptid.
Oh my god. Fucking dead.
Fucking dead.
Whipped it.
Someone unmute Cryptid! Someone unmute Lincoln! Oh
Cryptid
no!
isn't muted.
Sorry,
No,
what happened? Sorry, I'm in a
I'm
car
linking
and
now.
my Wi-Fi is ridiculous. Oh no. Oh,
You're good. We can hear you.
You're
We can
good.
hear you.
We can hear you now.
okay. I think.
Uh-oh.
You've gone robotic. Cryptid. Oh.
We get some F's in the chat for Cryptid's Bluetooth or whatever that is doing this to them.
There's about to be F's in the chat for me, but yeah.
Xalbaer is not that much taller than Lincoln.
He's a foot taller, roughly. We were talking about it yesterday. Okay, you're right. I'll fix it. I got you.
So the light, Lincoln's light goes a little darker, and Bit pops out of Lincoln's pocket and just kind of crawls up onto his shoulder. So what were you guys saying?
We were saying, that the cathedral might be taking them younger because,
They live longer that way.
yeah. Even if you have shorter lived races.
Mm-hmm. Because if you've got a toddler, their life expectancy may be the same, but they'll be in your service for longer.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a terrifying thought, but you know.
Listen, we had a whole conversation, Lincoln and Vexis, about how the cathedral is not
Kind. But yeah, that's what they said.
Mm-hmm.
So what?
Oh, that the other part. I remembered. Xalbaer said something about what if there's overlap, like if two caretakers are there at the same time. Mostly because I had the image of a toddler going up and down 80,000 stairs. I was like, damn.
Like,
Yeah.
Oh, like periods. Yeah.
so, you hear Vexis in Celestial,
Like training periods.
from the bat sitting on Lincoln's shoulder.
Vexis gives the bat a look. Just like sus.
Come here.
Listen, I don't know if cats hunt bats, but I feel like
They do.
okay, there is instinctual.
Bit
I
just
think.
kind of like cuddles cuddles closer to Lincoln's neck as Lincoln mutely reaches up to protect Bit. And looks absolutely like, don't you dare. That's the kind of look Lincoln is giving.
He's a little offended. I think that's something we would have to check. Quite frankly, I don't know if there was. Naomi did talk about the cathedral talking to them and guiding them on what to do. Not to mention the notable occasion I met the cathedral itself. It's simply... Thank you, Xalbaer.
You're welcome. I don't speak Celestial, so I don't understand.
Right.
Yeah, Bit spoke in Celestial.
Mm-hmm. So you're responding to something that Xalbaer has no context for.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yep, Naomi has definitely said stuff like this. Yep.
You just get like a long sigh and like he pinches the bridge of his kitty nose.
So, as you're like, okay, go ahead. I'll do this after you.
Nope. Go ahead. Go.
Bit goes.
What if the caretakers are constructs of memories from the previous caretakers?
I feel like that is something we cannot necessarily prove without asking, which I'm not very interested in. Xalbaer, I'm talking to the bat because, I don't know, Lincoln's broken at the moment or something. This might be just a thing he does. I don't know. But I'm talking to the bat apparently now. Basically, Lincoln or the Bat are trying to develop a theory on if there was overlap. Curiously, would it be like training periods, or if the caretakers are constructs from previous caretakers? Or perhaps whoever made the cathedral following that line of assumptions. I am unsure, though. I feel like sometimes in the true spirit of your Xalbaer-style engineering, sometimes the simplest or most stupid answer is the truest one. One can only complicate things so much before it wraps right back around to being simple.
Xalbaer gave a what? Me? When you said that about him.
Yes, Occam's razor.
Thanks. Appreciate that.
We have not fully explored in depth the journals, so if you would indeed like to go through and see if there is any mention of their lifetimes or race, you can do that. I most likely will want to look through this grimoire, since I am, of the three of us, the most qualified for it. You
Can-
might... Yes, Xalbaer?
As important as this research is, some of us are lactose intolerant out of coffee and out of any other food in this entire place. So we might need to pencil in a trip to yeast at some point as well. Is a book something we can take on the trip and like have some light reading, or
Perhaps if we packed your saddlebags. Although, if we pack your saddlebags, we would have to choose wisely, because we would have to take the groceries back somehow.
Bit laughs and goes,
Well, Lincoln has a hammer space, so that should help.
oh yeah, tunes.
Ah, yes. Just moment of silence as they both...
Yeah, some of us are real kind, okay? Some of us don't have the magic hammer space. Wow.
So, we currently have
I'm
at
back to
least...
3 bars.
Cryptid!
Hello.
Bit,
Hello, I don't know how long this is gonna last, but I have 3 bars.
Bet loses their ability to speak as Lincoln's lights up again.
Hello. It's nice to see you're back with us, Lincoln.
He like bonks himself on the head and he's like, yep, glad to be back. Yeah, hammer space. Forgot I had that, but useful, right?
Yes, very, considering at minimum, depending on how many books we would want to take. Well, at maximum minimum, perhaps. There's 6 journals and the grimoire. And there's Nathaniel's journal. Besides the other one. That's 8.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just the journals and not anything. And perhaps a notebook to take notes and try and condense some of this information down. Of course, if we do some of this before we leave, that would cut down on how many books we need to take. Xalbaer, you may find this interesting. We're currently working on a concept that the cathedral travels realms. Supported by the knob that we discovered on the control panel.
I'll make grabby hands for the book. Whichever book it may be, he'll make grabby hands in the general direction.
You know what? I mean, Vexis would probably just hand over Nilith if because Nilith seems to have important info.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
What language is it in?
It's written in common,
Thank God.
Okay.
so you can read Nilith. Some of the journals are not written in common. Nilith's is.
Okay.
But because both Vexis and Lincoln can read Celestial, I hadn't detailed what languages they were written in, because Lincoln can read everything.
Eyes
Beautiful.
of the RuneKeeper.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Amazing.
Perhaps we could probably leave off Natasha's, unfortunately, while it is the second most recent. Right, we do need to consider groceries. I probably should. I had Dexion sleeping in the other room. Have you seen him?
No. I think Dexion's the last one I haven't seen.
Well, have you checked with everyone else then on whether they would like to go to Ys or not?
Valence would like to stay, but requests joint oil, because clicky clacky. Naomi wants something red and sweet and small and soft and occasionally tart. Yeah. No, wait. I haven't checked with Sirius or Olive. Cryptid, were you saying something?
Oh,
Yeah.
Cryptid?
I know.
Hmm?
Were you saying something?
Oh no, sorry. It's probably noises in the car, so I'll mute unless I talk.
Okay.
Okay.
Good, you're good, you're good.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
No
Yeah.
worries.
Nah, we just want to make sure you're included, dude.
Mm-hmm.
No, thank you, thank you.
So, Sirius and Olive and Dexion.
Yes. For the Chaos Be Upon Yeast group.
Well, we can take these journals, the grimoire, perhaps a few spare journals, and we can postulate in this subject on the train, perhaps. And yes, check with Sirius and Olive and Dexion. I can accompany you. There's a few things I myself would like to look at. Goodness, leaving. And
So I do want to remind you, Audio, that Vexis also wanted to talk to Sterling.
yes. Xalbaer, did you see Sterling?
Yeah. Yep. Sterling was having a nap. Mm-hmm.
I will have to leave him a note then, so we can talk when we return.
Making your way down the list of kids?
Considering I don't believe there is anyone else, presuming I synced the cathedral, Axiom should not be here, nor would I want to get him any groceries.
I just figured you were going for Best Single Father Award.
You really are in fine form today, aren't you, Xalbaer?
Oh yeah, got a nap. Excellent nap. Definitely no nightmares. And maybe a little hungry.
Definitely no nightmares!
Definitely. No nightmares here.
Hey, Vexis,
God.
do you believe him?
I feel like he doesn't, I'm gonna be real. Xalbaer has a tendency to state the obvious.
Yep.
But, like, you know, he definitely gives Xalbaer a look.
Xalbaer's just gonna give him a calm look back, like, yup.
these nightmares you didn't have? Do you wish to analyze them? Are they the usual kind of nightmare, usually involving our terrible demises, or...
I mean, that would be too usual for one of those, am I right?
Of course, if anything interesting particularly happens with these non-nightmares you're totally not having, please inform me, considering it may be an effect of the darkness corruption you're currently experiencing.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, yep. I'll do that. Yep. You need me to take, like, notes on, like, possible side effects or anything of that, or you think I'm good?
If you truly desire, knock yourself out.
I prefer not to take a nap again. I just got done with one, but I'll keep that in mind.
Vexis is going to just kind of like roll his eyes at Xalbaer.
This is great.
Oh, can you repeat that, please, Cryptid?
Cryptid said this is great.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's going well.
Yeah.
So,
Vexis, I was just gonna say Vexis is gonna start like grabbing and sorting out the shit he wants to take.
okay.
Book-wise.
Easy enough. Make sure to keep track of it for me.
Yeah.
So you guys get situated. All of the books you want to take on your 2-day trip, because it takes a day to travel to Ys, and Xalbaer would know that and
Yes.
probably relay that.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're not going by foot, you're going by train. If you were going by foot, it would take us so much longer. Anyways, now that you have all of your things, where are you checking for Dexion? Because, oh yeah, you're going to Naomi's room. Alright. Everyone's in Naomi's room now. Dexion's on the couch. Sirius and Olive are actually here too, sitting at the table, although Sirius seems to be asleep.
Wow.
At the table?
Yes.
Is Olive like drawing on his face?
So there are drawings on Sirius's face, but Olive right now seems to be drawing on a piece of paper.
Perfect.
So did they come in and sit down and fall asleep after checking out there?
Yeah, probably.
Man.
Xalbaer will...
Go ahead.
I was gonna say Xalbaer will wander over and draw a fish on the back of Sirius's hand. Not on his face, on his hand.
Olive looks up and holds up a crayon and then points at the piece of paper that's actually sitting underneath Sirius. And then at the piece of paper she's using. And then she smiles a little bit.
Xalbaer's gonna give a thumbs up and plop down next to her.
Mm-hmm.
Dexion is dead on the couch, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah.
Although he seems to have a blanket over him.
Yes, good. Oh god. I guess Vexis is the one who's gonna wake them up. Just
unless Lincoln is.
Oh boy. Okay, how's the sound? Is there a loud noise?
There's a little noise, but we can hear you clearly.
yeah, you're good.
Okay, good. I think Lincoln's gonna look at Vexis and just kind of be like shrugging. He's just like, you want to do it or do I want to do it?
Oh, Vexis will do it. Just goes over to Dexion and sort of crouches down next to them and very carefully puts a hand on Dexion's shoulder. Gently wake Dexion up.
I hope you rolled your hit dice for a short rest, if you needed to, Bluejay, because you got an hour and a half. Dexion got an hour and a half of rest.
He didn't lose any HP.
Right. I don't remember things. Go ahead.
Sexual wakey wakey.
Yeah, just Vexis isn't gonna say anything. He's just like gives Dexion a little nudge nudge. Nudge 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 nudge.
He very slowly opens one eye and goes, "Do you need something?"
We're going to Ys. Would you like to come, or would you like us simply to pick something up for you?
Mm,
There's a bookstore.
If I remember correctly as well, if what Alexa said was correct, Ys was the location of the incursion of darkness, right, Xalbaer?
Yep.
Dexion gives Xalbaer a look like, "Are you seriously trying to tempt me to go on your shopping trip?"
It'll be fun.
I doubt that.
What? You don't want to sit on a train for a day and then wander around Ys and definitely not get into trouble?
Oh, now you're making it sound so much more appealing.
We are also bringing books that Lincoln found in the library. The journals detailing the past caretakers. It's has some very valuable and intriguing information on them.
Mm.
God bless Dexion.
It's literally the cat is behind the sofa and we're trying to lure him out with treats and toys and all the good stuff in life. Come on, come out from behind the sofa.
Or maybe the cat likes it behind the sofa.
Living behind the sofa is no life at all. Come on.
Bluejay,
Enjoy the sunshine.
Has Dexion sat up?
Sure.
So there's something off about your hammer space. Like there's something in it that you didn't put in there.
God fucking hell. Can you check what it is without pulling it out?
Yep. You have a bag of 625 gold.
Damn!
Where did it come from?
What?
It's child support. Don't worry about it.
I guess.
That is a good question. Where did it come from?
Okay, well, he pulls out the bag of 625 gold and drops it on the floor and says, have fun.
Okay, but consider that can be used to buy many treats and books and science things.
There are more important things to worry about than treats and books and science.
You know you want to come to Yeast for a beaker.
We have beakers.
It's yeah, sure, homemade is fine, but there are store-bought too. You can come get chicken nuggets.
Bluejay. Roll me a history check for Yeast. So you just determine if Dexion knows if there's anything else in Yeast that he
Other
might
than
possibly be interested in. You know, like spells.
Yeah, Xalbaer's doing such a horrible job.
Xalbaer is in a bit of a mood right now. Don't trust him to.
So, Dexion, now that you're definitely not getting back to your nap, you're thinking a little bit. You know that Yeast, in at least Gisnep, is one of the magic capitals. As in, there are so many wizard colleges, and places to buy spells there, as well as spell components. Magic items, materials for magic items, there's a lot there. And last you checked in the lab, it's running a little short on supplies.
He sighs a really big sigh. And says, as long as we don't dawdle.
Us? Dawdle?
We would never do such a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Vexis has nothing to say for that. He knows Xalbaer.
Look, man, Xalbaer's hungry. He's got his priorities.
Alright, so now
Well-
everyone is going, yes?
Yeah, but just wait.
Okay.
Dexion gives a glare at Lincoln.
Lincoln waves. Do I need to exit the room?
Why are you still here?
Short answer or long answer?
Both.
All right. Short answer. I was doing a bit of research, and with the doctor's help, kind of stumbled across something interesting, to say the least. Long answer to ironically put it shortly. Got a bit of unfinished business. Not with y'all, not with anything sinister, so no worries, but the light wanted me here, and I want to find out why. Now, I apologize for any inconvenience it may cause.
Sure you do.
I mean that genuinely.
Yo, Dexion's so tired.
Bless their heart. They've had a rough time.
You know, like
Those what?
those like pictures of the family outings, and there's like always that one teen/preteen who's just like the most tired goth.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Mm-hmm. That's the vibe I'm feeling. Yay! Dexion's coming! You're still wearing Vexis' coat on top of your coat.
Yeah.
Double coat, let's go.
Xalbaer will stand up from the table and clap and be like, all right, everybody, get your booties in your backpacks. Let's go.
Olive stands up and claps.
Yes.
And
Yes.
then sits back down and goes, I'll stay here.
Have to babysit the Genasi asleep at the table.
Olive looks back at him and then looks forward. Well, if you're going shopping, someone has to somehow find food, right?
You know what? Good point. Good point. Good point.
You can have one of Vexis's ice creams from the freezer.
I think that's Naomi's.
Never mind. Maybe ask first.
Olive, should Laura wake up? Put her back to sleep, will you?
Olive's eyes turn into stars for a moment and she smiles a little wider. Okay.
Oh, God.
FPS where it's just Laura v Olive. Olive keeps trying to beat the shit out of Laura. Laura's so confused.
Super Smash Bros. But it's Laura and Olive.
I mean, Olive was looking at Laura making her flinch earlier, so...
Olive has tasted blood.
Olive craves murder.
Okay, before they go, can Vexis go get Oddmund?
Yes.
The most important character I know.
Yeah, you can retrieve Oddmund. Oddmund... You last left Oddmund with the Gust.
There's a nap party going on in there.
Yep. As you walk through the wall, the Gust is in humanish form. Sterling is literally sleeping practically on top of the Gust. and Naomi is sitting and watching them. Oddman's just kind of sitting off to the side and cleaning himself.
Amazing. Vexis is gonna, like, look at Sterling and the Gust for a second and contemplate his life choices. Just leave it.
Again.
Yeah, he's constantly contemplating his life choices.
Sorry, what did you say?
Oh, he's constantly contemplating his life choices.
But, what's he doing?
He's just gonna leave him for now. And he'll probably give, like, a little, whistle for Oddmund.
And
Or, like,
yeah. Oddman slowly gets up and stretches before imperiously walking down the stairs to you.
Hello, my dear. We're going to Yeast. I figured you would like to come along and perchance, get some time out in the sun.
I think that would be lovely. You hear in your head because telepathic communication with your familiar.
Yeah.
Yet. Familiar added to party. Yet.
Cat.
Yet.
Cat. Cat.
Cat. We have bird cat, cat, lion, cat boy, and Lincoln.
Cat by legality.
Cat by legality. And Lincoln.
Okay. Is there anything else y'all want to do before you leave the cathedral?
Lincoln's a toon, right?
Yes.
Just toonish cat ears appear for a second.
For comedic effect? Yes.
Yes.
Fuck yeah.
It's the, what is it called? I don't have it pulled up. It's the, like, the disguised, like, feet that toons have. I can't remember what it's called. I'm blanking.
No idea.
It's somewhere in my long list of features. Paper thin disguise.
Yeah.
Also, Heart, I don't think so. I can't think of anything, so I'm just gonna say, yeah, Vexis is ready to go.
Okay.
I think Lincoln's all good too, because we have all the books we need to bring, right?
Yeah, between the three of you, you've taken all of the books that you've wanted.
Okay, good.
Does Dexion, besides telling Olive to make sure Laura stays asleep?
I don't think so.
Alright. So you guys go to Timeless Hollow. Takes an hour and a half to walk there.
Yay.
Fun walking time, let's go.
We need to, like, make disguises for when we're in Yeast.
That's a good point.
Oh.
Do you want to make disguises before you leave the cathedral or during the trip? Because it's going to be a whole day trip.
I think it would be really funny if they didn't wear disguises out of town, just because then Victor could see, and that would be funny.
It would be bad.
No, it'd be funny. It'd be funny. Especially considering.
Then he knows people are leaving the cathedral, and there's less people in there now, and that's not good.
I don't think Xalbaer wore a disguise last time he went, So
Y'all.
Consider it this way. They are cool, and their brains are big, and Vexis would normally wear a disguise whenever he'd go out and do crime, so he's not wanted. He probably won't wear his black coat, unless there's darkness about. So, you know, he'll just look like a cat wearing a fucking sweater vest.
Which isn't unusual, especially for Einquell.
Who's gonna question fucking Xalbaer?
exactly.
Yeah, no. Dexion's gonna make everyone not leave as a group.
So you're gonna go in a pair and a 3?
Heartless, who are we taking with us to make it 5?
Right. You're not taking anyone.
Oddmond.
Right, Oddmond. I must have been counting Oddmond. Don't shame me.
Amazing. Sure. We can just go. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We can just go however.
We could do Vexis and Lincoln could start talking about books and wander off, and Xalbaer and Dexion could follow up.
Yeah.
You know?
You know what? Okay.
Book
I
club.
guess.
So you guys get to town. It's appears to be a pretty busy day with a bunch of the shadow townspeople walking back and forth. They don't really pay you any mind.
Good.
Oh wait, I'm hiding from the cops. Xalbaer would probably keep an eye out for the cops. Forgot about that one, Chief.
Roll me a perception check.
I forgot that was here.
I was literally in the middle of remembering that Vexis knows about Victor having ties to the light, and you just come in with that fucking ball.
Perception?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, roll perception.
Because he's so serious from here.
Yeah. So
You rolled on the wrong channel, but good job.
Oh,
A 12.
I had it backwards. I had notification. Y'all were anyway.
it is
12.
You do see that walking along Main Street is the same shadow of a policeman that was chasing you, and he's just kind of like, well, he's milling about the crowd because there's a crowd of people walking around.
He's gonna lean down to Dexion and be like, so if the cop comes over, we're booking it, alright? I did nothing illegal that wasn't righting a wrong, but I don't want to have to explain myself today.
Dexion wordlessly splits off from Xalbaer. He's not going away.
You know what? Fair enough. Fair enough. Oh yeah! Oh yeah, Xalbaer has a side mission for later. Knew we were forgetting something.
So, coincidentally, Xalbaer, you do your best to walk by, be chill, and not be noticed. The cop appears to be like examining the fountain and just kind of scratching his head.
Nonchalantly walking past. We don't look at the fountain. We don't acknowledge the fountain. There is no fountain in Bossing Say. Anywho.
Yep.
Yep.
Anyways, so you easily passed the cop. Congrats!
Woo!
No incidents. Is there anything you guys want to do before you leave Timeless Hollow for 2 days?
Can Vexis leave a vaguely threatening sounding note for, Victor, being like, we have to talk?
You can go to the Temple of the Light to do that, yes.
Cool. He's gonna leave it. Does it have a donation box kind of thing?
So you walk in, and...
First mistake, right off the bat, walking in the door.
Yikes.
Excellent.
Good job.
And, you know, there are people in here.
Disgusting.
And up at the top, like at the altar, is Victor and Elijah.
Oh, wait.
Cool. I mean, they're about to leave. Vexis doesn't necessarily want to talk to Victor. Like, he doesn't even know if Victor's gonna notice him, considering Elijah's there. He also just doesn't, like, you know what? Elijah hasn't turned to dust upon stepping onto thine holy grounds, or whatever the fuck happens with religious shit. So, you know what? That's just another thing to add in his section of Grimoire involving the, darkness, you know, experiments and soul stealers. So...
So where do you want to leave the note?
Is there a donation box kind of thing?
Yes, but it's right by where Victor appears to be trying to cast something on Elijah.
Vexis is going to, with all of his confidence that he owns the place, like true professor of Vexis and Dr. Vexis Enteur, he's just gonna walk right by them.
Okay, what's Lincoln doing?
Lincoln 100% followed him in there, and he is just watching with just a bewildered look. And he's also curious about what's going on with Victor and Elijah. Said he was casting a spell. I think Lincoln's gonna watch a little bit.
Roll me Arcana.
Ooh. That is a
Okay, so as you're watching Victor cast his spell, you have no idea what spell this is. You do recognize that Victor's pronouncing the words, Victor is speaking in Celestial. Proficiently so.
Oh.
And is going through motions over like Elijah's chest area, and then Victor stops and goes,
It's not working. Why isn't it working?
Elijah's like,
Why isn't what working? Lincoln
and they
shouts back
both
at you.
look at you with a Vexis standing right behind Victor. Hi.
Hello.
Lincoln,
Lincoln just waved.
right?
Right, yeah. Nice to see you again, Victor. He looks over at Elijah and kind of like nods and gives a little wave.
Elijah just waves. And Victor says, wow. Immediately, trying to do Mickey Mouse immediately dovetails.
I was just trying to cure Elijah, but it appears like the darkness is a little too strong. I'm not strong enough.
Victor turns and looks at you, Vexis, and raises an eyebrow. Because you were standing behind him.
Oh yeah. He was absolutely eavesdropping. He just looks back at fucking Victor just stare down.
Victor looks you up and down and goes,
If you need anything from me, I'm a little busy, so maybe come back tomorrow.
he doesn't know who you are!
Yeah. You know what? Vexis is going to drop his note in the donation box and just look at Victor and go, I'm sure we'll be seeing each other very soon. And just start to leave like a cryptic ass villain.
I think Lincoln, like hearing, he just looks at Vexus, rolls his eyes slightly. Like, oh my gosh. I love how dramatic Vexus is. I really, truly do.
Victor breaks in a sweat and goes, okay. And, I'm gonna have to roll something for Elijah. Only because toon logic, because Elijah's a toon. Where are you, Elijah?
Hiding.
Flat insight. Let's go. That
So-
one! So Elijah has no idea who you are either!
Elijah.
Okay.
Elijah, why?
I should know.
Elijah's ears perk up and he gives a toothy smile to Vexis and says, well, okay, bye. Lincoln. Hey, just, let, Xalbaer know I'm gonna stay here for a while. If he needs me.
Alright, will do. If he needs you for what?
I don't know anything.
Alright. I will pass along that message.
Thanks.
Alright.
Were you gonna say
For
something?
no connected reason. I was gonna say. Wait. Now, you're a cleric of light, right?
Victor pipes up.
Yeah, I'm a cleric of the light.
and you said that you weren't strong enough to cure Elijah?
No, like all the other people in town, the darkness has a too strong of a hold over
Wait.
brother here.
Well, do we have any idea of who would be strong enough?
I don't know. I know I need to get stronger, but
And Victor kind of sways a little bit. And Elijah immediately picks Victor up off the ground, almost like a sack of potatoes.
Oh, yeah.
And Elijah looks over at Lincoln and goes, "This is why I'm staying."
Understandable. Yeah, I think I'm gonna leave you two to. He's just gonna kind of like gesture and just like.
Oh.
Love darkness, my old friend. Bless you.
Cryptid,
Bless you. Yes.
you you got robotic at the end of that, so I didn't hear you.
I just said that Lincoln like just kind of wishes them a good day and then heads out after Vexis.
Yeah. They both wave at you, wish you a good day back. Victor, a lot more tiredly, and it looks like Victor's about to go to sleep. So.
All right.
Alright.
Now we blow this popsicle stand, right?
Bada boom,
Correct.
bada bing.
As they say, yes.
So you guys walk out of Timeless Hollow. It's a lot faster than walking to Timeless Hollow. And up to the train station. The next train, thankfully, is coming within about 30 minutes. So you can easily buy your tickets and board the train.
For the record, Dexion is pretending that he doesn't know these people.
Amazing.
They have to buy Oddman a ticket.
Yes.
Did we have to buy Bit a ticket, or can I hide him?
Bit is hiding in your pocket.
Oh my god.
They're 11. They're 11. They're 11.
Oddman is a cat and a familiar. You want to buy a ticket in this economy?
The person at the ticketing booth looks at you with a saccharine expression. Are you telling me that your familiar ain't intelligent enough to buy their own ticket?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Vexis bristles.
Damn.
And he's gonna go. He like puts like a single paw, like claw down on the fucking booth, and he's like, "I'm certainly implying that this is absolute malarkey. I think that Oddman is more intelligent than half the people in this town. If you're charging familiars for train tickets."
Well, it ain't as much as your ticket.
Child.
What? I didn't catch you there.
You would not charge a child for such a thing, and yet you charge a familiar?
Of course we charge for children. They're called children's tickets for a reason.
This
You're
is
thinking of amusement parks.
Buffets.
As you stand there, the person behind the counter just kind of leans and gives a grin and starts laughing at you.
that Axiom? Vexis is gonna reach across for the fucking teller's throat. He's like, is that true, Axiom?
Axiom just kind of like pulls up their hat and starts laughing more.
You're so angry.
You have the toonish gag of just Vexis holding Axiom by the throat and shaking him. Please.
Yeah. And the funniest thing is Axiom is currently appears to be shorter than Vexis.
Damn.
Like
You must
the
be
size,
on the floor.
like the size of a actual fox.
Amazing.
Luckily for Dexion, there's no one here. Besides you guys and Axiom.
I ought to turn you into a fur coat, Axiom.
Still pretending he doesn't know any of these people.
What? I bought your tickets, and then I, well, kind of just put the man to sleep.
Like asleep or like dead?
You can check his pulse if you like.
No, I'm good. I just want to know if you had to hide the body.
I cannot believe you. I actually can. This is something you would do.
I had to wait for the train too. I got bored.
And you couldn't occupy yourself like a normal person?
Axiom seems to glitch for a bit and suddenly grows to normal size and both his tails flick.
Why would I do that?
Vexis lets go of Axiom and just sort of like brushes himself off and grooms Oddmund a little and just ignores him.
Here, take your tickets. I did actually buy them for you.
Aww.
Vexis will take the tickets.
Yep, there's one for you, Lincoln, Xalbaer, and Dexion.
Amazing.
Wow, you
That was
didn't
good.
buy Oddmund a ticket?
That was a joke.
There aren't any familiar costs.
They do have tickets for children, though.
Is that what you got?
Oh.
What? Save on costs. Be like, oh yeah, I'm definitely 11, not 12.
Oh, if I was traveling
with you, maybe.
Yeah, to be fair, anybody can look like a kid next to me. And Xalbaer will reach out and pat the top of Axiom's head a couple times.
Axiom does not like being pat on the head. It just immediately recoils.
Xalbaer would have it would have been like an absent-minded thing too, so the recoil would have been like, oh, I'm done now, okay.
Also, real quick, sorry to interrupt. I have to hop off like really quick. I should be back on soon.
We have
Okay.
been going for a while, though, so we might want to consider just ending it here with you guys getting on the train. And our next session we can start in Yeast.
All right.
Notes train trip.
Yeah. And we can talk about all of the things they discover in the books that they read on the train ride. I wrote down all of the books they bring. Call that fast travel. Why are you so fucking funny, Altaria?
You're welcome.
Thank you all for joining us for this first first episode of this new arc.
Woo.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye-bye now.
Bye.